What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Back at it again with another banger, my friends. Y'all know the vibes. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So South Carolina head coach, the legendary Staley, just guaranteed that the NCAA selection committee will make the Gamecocks after winning the SEC championship regular season share as well as the SEC tournament. She just guaranteed that they will be taking the number one overall seed from the NCAA selection committee. Bold. Staley said, quote, "We're going to be the overall number one seed. It's really simple. It's not the new math. The new math may have a second, third, or fourth, or maybe a 2 seed. But the old original math with the body of work, the schedule that we put together, the quad 1 wins, which they are focusing on this year, the strength of schedule, the net, if you add all those metrics together, nobody has the body of work we have. Speak. You can look at 3 losses and you can say the Connecticut loss was an embarrassing loss, and it was. But how we responded to each and every loss, I think, shows the type of team that we are. Staley said that on the show Carolina Calls. No lies detected. No lies detected. The UConn loss was embarrassing. The UCLA loss was embarrassing, but they weren't ducking smoke. They weren't afraid to play those games, take those losses, take those lumps, grow from them, and be better throughout the season to get to where they are right now as that potential number one overall seed. There's no lies detected, though. Staley is preaching straight gospel right now. When you look at the schedule, there's not another team in the country, and if I'm lying, y'all let me know. Please let me know. But there's not a team in the country that has played the schedule, the talent, the gauntlet that South Carolina has come and really conquered for the most part, made it through, won the conference tourney, and is definitely flexing their muscles, playing their best basketball. They did it all in impressive fashion. Started the season with a scrappy Michigan squad led by 2 freshmen that were really, really talented. They played NC State, which was a top 10 matchup. They go on, they play UCLA, number 1 team in the country. That was a top 10, that was a top 5 matchup. Iowa State was ranked 11th at the time. That's another quad 1. They played Duke as well, who just won the ACC championship out there in their conference. Beat them. Then went on the road to TCU, the Big 12 champions, and blew them out by 33. Like, that's another top 10 win we're talking about. Then not to mention the gauntlet of the SEC when you talk about beating Texas, then going to Alabama, beating Alabama, then Oklahoma beating them. These are all ranked matchups back to back to back. Then beating LSU, another top 10 matchup, back to back to back to back. Then finishing it off with a ranked Tennessee squad. Then you play Texas again. Then you play UConn. That's 2 more top 5 matchups. Then you finish with Ole Miss, Kentucky, who was ranked. You beat Oklahoma again. You beat Texas again. Like, when you talk about a gauntlet and what this team has done, having played the top competition all year, like at one point, they played damn near the entire top 5 in the country. They've beaten 2 other conference champions. Like, yeah, you're gonna lose games. Yeah, you're gonna have growing pains. This is a team that had some new faces that stepped up and played some big roles last year. This is a team that hadn't lost a regular season game in quite some time, an SEC game in quite some time, a home game in quite some time. All great things come to an end, but when you talk about battle tested, when you talk about quad 1 wins, strength of schedule, Staley hit the nail on the head. Like, no team in the country is this polished, this battle-tested. And, yeah, there were a few chinks in the armor, rightfully so, but they played this game. They played these games. They played that gauntlet of a schedule to prepare for March, to prepare for April, and to capture that number 1 seed. At this point, it would be borderline disrespectful for the NCAA to consider anybody else for that number 1 overall seed. Realistically, South Carolina is currently number 2 in the polls right now in the AP polls. Now, I will say UCLA, after winning the Big Ten championship, winning the head-to-head matchup, losing only 2 games, 30-2 this season, they are the number 1 team right now. UConn 3, USC 4, Texas 5, TCU all the way up at 6. So, yeah, UCLA is definitely going to receive some strong consideration. But when you look at the schedule, they're not comparable. When you look at the conference, it's close, but I'm still giving the nod to the SEC. And, yeah, I get it. They got the head-to-head matchup, but this was months ago. Neither one of these teams are anywhere near the same. The thing for UCLA is they've only lost to USC pretty much. Like that's the big thing for them. They lost to the same team. They've beat everybody else. But they've played some weaker competition in the non-conference as well. That's why I think they'll slide down to that 2 seed when it's all said and done. South Carolina just went through the gauntlet, like we said. Now, shout out to UCLA. They're a great team. They're talented. They did win the head-to-head matchup. They finally conquered Juju Watkins at least once this season and didn't get the sweep. But I mean, Don Staley's absolutely standing on business. If we're really valuing these quad 1 wins, like people are saying, if we're really, really holding net schedule and strength of schedule and net wins and the Ken Palm, if we're really valuing all these things as much as we say we are, then it's an easy choice for the number 1 overall seed. And I just want to say this too to end the video, like either way, it's not the end all be all. South Carolina will be fine either way. It's not the end-all be-all if they don't get the number 1 seed. I think this team is still the best team in the country right now, playing the best basketball. They are extremely dangerous, extremely deep, and have found their identity offensively. And they're just receiving contributions from all the McDonald's All-Americans people want to keep talking about. UCLA, a deserving squad. There's some other teams in the country that are definitely going to be having something to say about that national title run. There's going to be some very talented teams, very hungry teams that want to dethrone the defending champs. That is for sure. But South Carolina, Coach Don Staley and this group knows the battle that they're up against, and I think they're very prepared for it. But hey, Don not playing with the NCAA now. She say we getting that number 1 seed. Either we getting it or we taking it. Y'all let me know how you feel in the comments. That is a wrap for us, man. For all the latest and the greatest, of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. This is the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff, and join our memberships. We got exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Until next time, my people, we out.